This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's talk about something else that happens here right before this show. The WWE is going to release a total of 19 people, all of the damn Dudleys, Bubba, Devon, and Spike, Joey Giovanni, Kenzo Suzuki, and Hiroko, butchered that.
Bless you.
Matt Morgan, Charlie Haas, Jackie Gata, Marty Jannetty again.
Wait a minute. Marty? No way.
Don Marie, Mark Jindrak, Maven, Kidman, Shannon Moore, Akio, Gangrel, and Kevin Fertig, and Jim Cornette. Now, Jim Cornette is a different subject completely. We'll get to that in a moment. The names that stick out the most on here to me are the Dudley Boys. I mean, they had been such a big part of WWE with all of their crazy tables, ladders, and chairs. Why is the decision made to move away? Were they difficult to do business with? Did Vince not see anything in creative for them? Did he think they had done it all? They weren't versatile enough to split up? What's the thinking?
No, I think that more than anything, it was a timing issue. And, you know, obviously the Dudleys during the time, massive contribution and were a hell of a tag team. There are times when it's just time for whatever reason. These decisions are difficult to make and they're not made lightly. So when you're looking at it and you have to make cuts and you have to make adjustments, it's just not always the easiest thing in the world. And sometimes you have to do things that may not be popular, may not be seen by all, but they're necessary for business reasons and for business. You know, there's times where you said, okay, you've got to cut 3 people or whatever. That's your mandate, and you may like everyone that you have and feel everyone contributes, but you still have to cut 3 people. Sometimes there's not a rhyme or reason to it. And it's always difficult.
I can't imagine, especially when you see a guy like Kidman, who we know has been a longtime contributor, you know, before and after this. But here, just bad timing, as you said. Let's talk about Matt Hardy. His music is going to play during an episode of Raw while Edge is in the ring. At what point did the shoot of Matt Hardy become the work of coming back? We've talked about it in long form, but briefly refresh our memory on how that became something that the crowd was doing on their own, and then you guys decided, let's just go with it.
Yeah, and the audience, you know, will let you know. They did. So there was a real life situation and an underground kind of rumbling, if you will, that we took and ran with it. Again, life imitating art, art imitating life. And when the two mix, those stories usually work out.
Well, it worked out. You know, I think they probably had a little more life to it. We've talked about that enough, though, in the archives. We also see Randy Orton debut on Smackdown after being picked in the draft lottery, and he attacks The Undertaker to help JBL defeat him in a no DQ match. Seems like a natural marriage between Orton and Undertaker. Those guys still love working together, do they not?
Yeah, again, 2 of the greatest workers ever to lace up a pair of boots.
Well, let's talk about some guys who maybe weren't exactly. Mark Jindrak is working the house shows, putting over the likes of Matt Morgan. Where did Mark Jindrak go wrong, do you think?
I just don't think that Mark had the charisma and just didn't click with the audience. It's really that simple. Some work, some don't. Mark didn't work. And not for athleticism and really trying and having a desire to do so. But later on in his career, Mark hit in Mexico. He was a monster heel, American heel. So he found his niche, made it work.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.